WEFM is SVG.
And just a note, we have an announcement here from Sagicor. They wish to advise their valued clients and the general public that in order to facilitate a company event, tomorrow all Sagicor offices will close at 11 a.m. Cashier services will close at 10:30 a.m. Regular business hours will resume on Wednesday, the 21st of January. Sagicor apologizes for any inconvenience and encourages our clients to continue utilizing our convenient digital options. Sagicor, wise financial thinking.
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right, it is the open forum segment right here on WEFM 99.9, and of course, Doc is still here with us. We got a call on the line. Let's take the first caller. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Maka.
Morning.
Roleza, how are you doing?
Hey, good. What about you, Doc? Here too, Morning.
Right, morning to Doc as well. Okay, Maka, you said you're a taxi driver?
Mm-hmm.
Well, since 2001 to 2025, the previous government used to monitor our house in Stony Ground, right?
Uh-huh.
The CID, because we had somebody there that used to that could write. I won't call the name. And we had several searches done to the house in Stony Ground many times. Anyway, go forward from there. I went into Corrèze in 2020. My first medical cannabis store, which is on the St. Vincent tourism page, eco-friendly tourism. That was my first store. Well, we monitored the company, the marijuana company that came into St. Vincent, which we broke up with, where we had to run for them out of this country, right? Before the end of this program, I'll tell Mr. Thompson why I run the last man, but I'm no names called. I ain't doing that. Anyway, Maka, I went into Corrèze in 2023. I started my first store in 2022. Because the volcano was in 21, correct? So I started the marijuana tour in 2022, 2023, and 2024. I had 3 tours from the German ship, right? Now, we understand that Corrèze was going behind our backs to try to cut in on the marijuana tours, but to carry them only to Georgetown. We used to give the customers a choice. We show them what the farm looked like in Georgetown. We show them the Rastaman farm in Clay Valley. Everybody want to go by the Rastaman farm in Clay Valley. They don't want to see all this high-tech thing. So I went into Corrèze, opposite the Tokyo. There's an office upstairs, and I went and asked for the person who's dealing with tours, and the person came out. I said, I asked you a year ago if you all were planning to do marijuana tours. I said, no, you've been going behind our backs and trying to do it when we know that you're already making a lot of money per head coming off the cruise ship. You're making real money and still you want to control the tours. And then people in Beckway, yes, we understand what's going on, but all you stop trying to buy the people on the ship. We know what's going on. So that is why you're going to have a lot of problem when you get down there. Plus, there's a lot of things written about St. Vincent and these cruise ships. Britannia came in there 2023. You hearing me? Britannia came in there and I saw something written about St. Vincent. And I went to Corrèze and said, Corrèze, is this correct? So I used to cuss Corrèze because I realized you're getting all. You want all. And it's time that they block the gate them. They block the gates them and hold you up for a half a day to let the tourists and them know. Because let me tell you, if you think you like commerce, tourists like commerce too, you know. Tourists like to hate thing, my boy. You know that too, Maka. So what I want to say is get to the root of the problem, find out, do investigative journalism, Mr. Kenton Chance and all you bright journalists, right? Do investigative journalism. Find out how much money is Correa's getting per head. And then yet still you want to run toes too. Yet still you want to do it. Correa's getting real money, you know.
All right. Okay.
Right?
All
Okay.
right.
Well, lastly, right, just before I go, right, they're selling local T-shirts on the boats as well. That needs to be cut out. But y'all need to handle this thing because it seems like nobody don't know what's going on. And Maka, let me make it very clear to you. Each person that went up on the marijuana hills with me, tourists, is 150 United States dollars per person. Do not go below that. Some of them, listen, is a trick price I charge them, right? Because they realize it's more than that. And I know how to split it up amongst the heads and how to split it up with the Rastaman because the Rastaman was cooking ital in the calabash and making them sit down in the ground, put something there and get boy, they love the experience. But it is 150 US dollars a person. Do not go below that. Sometimes they give you the 200 US in your hand, you ain't gonna take.
All right, Patton. So we
take
have
care.
somebody else calling. Thank you.
All right,
the
all
person gone. All right. Yeah.
The thing is, Correa's is the agent who brings in the ship, right, Doc?
They're one of a number of agents that bring in ships. There are other agents, but they're the main entity.
Right.
Yes. I don't think that it is necessary to beat up on Correa's.
Doc, just hold the point. Let me just take this call. Hello, good morning.
Pleasant good morning, Maka.
Morning.
Good morning, Roleza, and good morning, Doc.
Morning.
Nicole is not on this morning.
No, she left earlier.
Oh, okay. I just want to slash back a bit and like comment this morning. Like,
Go ahead. We're hearing you.
to agree with him. I tend to agree with him slightly when he stated that the press release that the police put out in respect of this high-power team, if you want to call it that. My thing is that ECP Bailey Buju, he's the ECP in charge of crime. So he's overhead. He's the high man in crime in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So even if you have a team, you don't have to mention him again. It comes like it is repetitive.
Okay.
So with that, I tend to agree with like.
Okay.
With the press release, really. That's just my pick. And he asks about the firearms and so on. And this is one thing that we get a lot of licks with. And I say we because, once the police, always the police. From time to time, when firearms are taken away, they are tested. And I can remember a couple of years ago, one of the firearms that was found in St. Vincent, because of the forensic test, it was used in a murder in Trinidad, and the person was in St. Vincent. He was, I'm not too sure of the outcome of the matter, but he was charged for that murder. So I will hit the police for that because sometimes when these things are, you don't hear, and people are always complaining about that. The police don't give a release as to what happened, and so on. I think that's something going forward that we'll have to do. People want to know the information because that's my take, really.
Okay, all right.
Because I have something there. Before you go on that, man.
Yes, sir.
I just want to know, should the police be releasing a lot of information on these things, or do you think sometimes they keep it in their bosom? They keep that information.
If the matter before the court and so on, there's a certain amount of information that you can't delve into the meat of the matter.
Right.
But when a matter is finished, like for example, you found me with a gun, and I've been convicted, and this gun is involved in another crime. What is in sentence now? Any part of the region? I think people should know.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's what like was asking this morning. What becomes of the firearm? And the firearms, those firearms are destroyed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for informing us of that. Okay.
All right. Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know the firearm destroy when you get caught with it.
Yeah. Well, that is the same point that Life and former Commissioner Charles making, in that if you have the information out there, then people won't be speculating and asking questions. So
We'll take this call. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Roleza, Doc, and Maka.
Morning.
Morning.
I wanted to get answers. I was trying to get answers last year, and the defense minister was there. The deputy prime minister.
Right. Mr. Leacock.
I had 3 questions for him. And those 3 questions are, and he can call and say them if he listen to me. Not to me, to us.
To WEFM.
To us FM. Because I'm a part of EFM, so it got to be us now.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him if he has any intentions of putting a gun amnesty there for the young people who might got guns and want to surrender these guns. Because I find that sometimes people say, you bury a gun and this thing, but bury it where? I bury it in 2 inches of mud or sand that you can get back too easy. So I would prefer to see a gun amnesty with some laws in place before the gun amnesty is implemented.
Okay, so I'll just take your points one by one. So you're speaking on the gun amnesty.
Right.
There have been occasions, and within the year itself, when that does happen, right? And the police does put that information
2 years
out.
ago, there was one.
I'm quite sure there was one last year as well. Yeah. So it happens. It happens at least once a year. It might be more than once a year, but I could say for at least once a year, it happens, right? And persons are told they could just give it to an officer, no charges, no questions, that sort of thing is in place. So we do have that here in SVG as well, periodically.
No, I would figure that you would have it. But I'm speaking now, since the new government is in place, what's their position on it?
Okay, well,
because I really think, Roleza, that they should bring some stiff laws, stiff penalties, that you would suffer the consequences of these penalties if you have a gun amnesty and you don't submit your gun, and then after the gun amnesty close, they find you with a gun. That's when the stiff penalties will come in, which will be talking about big jail time.
Well, stiffer penalties were in place. Laws were actually amended. Was it not last year, the year before? So that has already happened as well.
The other thing I wanted to ask him was whatever happened to those parcels of drugs that the people claim that wash up on the shores of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. What happened to their drugs? Or them packages, I should say.
You mean who claimed it? You know it was not true.
That's the thing. Was it actually confirmed? Because I've never heard the police say anything. So
that from what I understand, that never happened. Things didn't wash up in St. Lucia or Grenada or in Trinidad or anywhere else.
Because the way my geographical knowledge of the area tells me that if boats were blown up to the water west of the Grenadines, and you find drugs on the Vincentian, the Melanco beaches, it means that those drugs would have had to drift in between the islands together to the mainland, which is east of the Grenadines.
Yeah,
so I was wondering.
Yeah, the claim was it was in a Grenadine island, but there was never anything stated to be factual, so we don't know.
But Mr. Horn, the point is that whole thing that there was this narco-terrorism and President Maduro was the head of this name of a cartel and so forth. All that is now being thrown out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's no longer the case. I'm not saying that they weren't drug boats. And that a lot of these boats were actually in the Pacific, in the Pacific area, come up along the line of Peru and Panama and Colombia and so forth. So it's a lot of what we hear so often is not true. And so when you talk
Yeah,
about it as
I
being
know,
a claim,
I know.
I know what you're really saying. You're being facetious by saying it was a claim. You're already saying, boy, that claim was not really a claim. That's what, are you saying
Or
that?
was he seeking the truth or some clarification?
Exactly. I was saying that it's a lot of theatrics. So that Trump and his Qatars, they will say all kinds of things to create false impressions in the minds of the people around the Caribbean and indeed the world. But I never really believed that they would have found any drugs anywhere, because as far as I understand from another source, that these was innocent people out there fishing and all kind of thing.
Yes, but bigger news, Mr. Horn. Elections in Barbados. How do you see it?
Doc.
Deja Jackson, come on, say, man, Doc.
Mrs. Motley winning back.
I think that my money, she's going to win again.
Yep.
But I is going to get about 8 to 10 seats.
I question. Go ahead. Okay.
No, and I say that although I support the Roots Party, I want to see a stiff opposition in Parliament, because I really don't think it is any good thing to have a political party winning all of the seats in Parliament. That is not good at all, because it allows the winning party to go to Parliament and do whatever they feel like without any real opposition. And that's the problem I got. If they would win all 30 seats, I got issue with that.
Question though, I was trying to remember if this actually was said. Did she indicate, as in the Prime Minister of Barbados, that she was only going to do 2 terms? Was that ever said at some point in time?
Actually, before the 2018 election, she said that she only wanted 2 terms.
Mm-hmm.
She has gotten 2 terms. And then they were saying that she wanted to see if she could get the position of Secretary General of the UN, and to do that you've got to be out of elective politics for 2 clear years. So that's where she was headed. But because there seemed to be a lot of in-house factors, hairline factors in the party, she decided. The saying among some people is that she can't leave now, because all hell if she leave the party, to go and pursue her other goals. So she's now gone on a third run. But I want to say though that when you taste power, it'll be so sweet that you can't get spit out your mouth. That's not true, Doc.
Doc, you asked a question. You are never shy of words.
No, repeat that question again. I want to be clear about that question.
I say that when you get the taste of power, it will be so sweet in your mouth that you don't spit it out.
You won't voluntarily spit it out.
Put it this way.
No.
Put it this way. There are many individuals. I remember Patrick Manning had power, and he tried something and he lost it. There are many, many individuals who squander and waste the sense of power, even though it was sweet. Of course, there's some who run from it because it turned out to be bitter. But yes, absolute power does seem to corrupt in some cases, but not always, right? I don't think it's always sweet.
I actually had liked the fact that she had taken a position of only doing 2 terms and be done with it. But I suppose I was surprised to hear that she's running for a third term. But
Roleza.
All right, Midge, we have another call on the line.
Maka, you hold a minute, Maka, man. Listen to what you're saying, please. You don't want to hear about this, because you think very negative of my country.
No. I love your country, my brother. I love your country.
But listen, I think that there's a lot of division in the Barbados Labour Party, and the one good thing about those people is that they don't ever let the issues come to light, like how the Democratic Labour Party is doing, and are fracturing the party and creating some issues for the party every time, and that's what keeping them down. But I think next election, next month, it's going to be a very good election, and I think that the Democratic priority of the opposition, they're going to win about 8, 10, or about 11 seats, and I would like that. I don't want to see the government doing what they feel they're doing because they got the majority of seats. I believe in term limits, and I believe also in when you put things there for the government, 5 years for government, they should run that 5 years and not call short elections all the time. It's doing the country no good. And I feel like a prime minister there should be a system in the Caribbean, like how they got in the States, where a prime minister could only be prime minister for 2 terms. Okay. Them the kind of things I believe. But the next time I thought we would talk some more about that.
All right, sure, no
Maka,
problem.
It's all yours, Mr. Maka.
All right, you as well, my brother.
Thank all of you guys.
All right.
All right.
All right, so we recognize that somebody was trying to call. Let's say this and
final
this.
caller. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Morning.
Is the first time I'm hearing your voice?
You were discussing protests this morning, and I really want question Relicious. How she look at how optics on protests? Is it a valid thing or is it a non-valid thing?
Oh, what was if I'm looking at protests as being valid or invalid?
Yes. And does it make a change?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Protests to effect change. That is what I'm talking about, right? So like in the case that one of the examples that Kojo raised is the silent protest, right? In the change of governance in our last elections, maybe persons did not necessarily take to the streets to say that they wanted a change of government, like how you see in different countries. We didn't do that, right? That did not happen in SVG, but there was a silent protest through casting your votes, right? So that's what I'm saying is that what it is that I found of in the past, right? In the generation before that, persons actually talk to the streets, right? They talk to the streets to voice their opinions, and through voicing their opinions, change was effected. So that's what I mean. If I see it as being valid, yes, I see it as being valid if it affects change. If persons come out in their numbers to stand for a particular point or a particular, I don't know, something that they want to see changed.
But you see, caller, I added to that process that 40, 50 years ago, where you didn't have access to a radio. It was only in the 90s that people could really voice their opinion on radio. Radio show was where the disc jockey and so forth had a script and said things. And you could write something in the newspaper, but in terms of what impact that has, the editor will look at it from a legal point of view, and depending on what it is, he may publish it or may not publish it. Today, you have social media that, as I lead this program, I could get onto the program and do a video that I'm expressing something, Roleza could do something, and then post it. And there can be 2 hits, or there could be 200,000 hits. And I'm saying that in this new modern era, there are different ways of doing it, where your hits plus the comments that come with it can actually be more powerful than saying you're gathering up people to walk down the street and so forth in one way.
Colin, let me hear what your take was on it, because you posed a question to me, so I was curious.
I was looking at it from the context of, say, Charlotte Corbin or Rosa Parks, who did something very small that escalated into major change. And it occurred to me that if you don't start protesting one person, say this is wrong, then someone else look at it and says, yes, I agree, and this escalates, but nothing gets changed.
So like a snowball effect happening, you mean?
Exactly.
Okay.
But if you do nothing, then nothing changes.
Okay, well, fair enough.
I was curious. I was listening to us. Hang on. Especially from a black female perspective, that you would expect, or you would, at least from my perspective, would expect you to say, okay, change has to start small and escalate, not a major change. Somebody has to say, make a decision and say, this is wrong. It needs to change, and then it snowballs from there. Not, expecting change. Absolutely, change is going to take time. It's going to take years, months, years. Who knows? But it will happen.
Well, yeah, I can take that as well. Yeah. But I'm
Yes.
hoping that I didn't come across as say stand back and not do anything, huh? I hope that's not the impression that you got.
Well, no, I was rather interested in your optics of it. I was thinking, this is interesting. This is
No.
interesting from a black female
No,
perspective.
definitely,
That-
no, definitely. I mean, people do silent protest on the job as well. So walk slow and do nothing at all. So protests happen in different methods.
I had put it down, and I always put it down. Relisa sometimes is devil's advocate because I mentioned in Martin Luther King's quote that our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. And so I want to totally agree with you. And but I know that Roleza believes in that. I know she truly believes in that too.
Let me tell you what it is, why it is I did all of that, right? It's because I wanted Doc to zero in on exactly what it is he was trying to get at. You realize Doc was talking abstract? I wanted for Doc to zero in on exactly the point he was trying to make.
I want to thank you very much because you zeroed in for me. Yes, you probably echoed what you understood what I was looking to say, and you said it to me. Maybe not my long, highfalutin words and so on. You basically said it in a simple way. You asked a few simple questions, and you basically pulled out Roleza. Thank you.
And you see, if Doc did not speak in abstract in the first place, we would not have had all of that.
I'm
Okay.
gonna stop speaking abstract. I'm gonna stop speaking abstract. You know, sorry, but my apologies to everybody. Maka, I apologize. Yes, sir.
Apology accepted. All right, caller.
I must remind the doctor of that famous quote: "When good men do nothing, bad things happen." So it's you have to start somewhere.
Yes.
And we have a wonderful day.
All right, you too. And
That's a beautiful ending call.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
he always messages, but it's the first time he actually called, as in I'm hearing his voice. So yeah.
Yes. Well, you see, that's the point. We say people ain't speaking out. Yes, people speak out in different ways, at different times, in different manners, different media. It's a good thing.
And with that,
Roleza, I think we could sign out as well.
we have community dateline. I just have one thing to read. Rajiv, I have one thing to read. Okay, so all right, we can sign out and then I'd read it and then we go into news and brief. So, Doc.
Final words, Doc.
Good morning. Have a wonderful Martin Luther King's recognition of his birthday day, January the 20th.
I was wondering what this guy was doing inside the opposition leader kitchen. I'm wondering what this guy was doing inside the opposition leader kitchen.
The new is it's on One News, I think.
Yes, SVG Times.
SVG Times.
Somebody was from there and so forth.
Yeah.
Going to the fridge or so.
Maybe going for a drink. Ain't it, Rajiv?
Oh, hold on. Oh no, we inviting. Okay, hold on. This is go ahead, Rajiv.
Oh no, I was just saying. I think it was saying that the person has a bit of a mental issue.
So yeah.
Came and they asked him to move on with the former prime minister.
Maybe you want to have a talk with him. Maybe.
I mean, I guess he did. I don't know if this had happened before after his invitation to come and talk to him at course. I don't know if that was extended to all
intentions.
Yeah, all that just for the prime minister to pick his brain on. Okay.
Lord. Maka, sign out, give it.
Hey, until tomorrow, SVG, enjoy the rest of the day. Be good and be safe.
All right, and this is Roleza signing out for today. Take care, everyone, and of course, see you back tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Nothing else sounds as good as WEFM.